They're over, so we're gonna go over this. Oh god, I just realized this is gonna be uploaded to YouTube with the mask on. Fun. Okay, so overall team comps. Yeah, I'll wait till he locks in. Blue team has banned out Tristana, Morgana, Maokai. Maokai has been heavily nerfed in the last patch in terms of how much damage his ultimate can store, but the base damages, all of his other skills, they're left alone. So he's still very good at locking targets down and can be very, very tanky while throwing out a good amount of damage in the late game. So I could understand the reasoning behind not necessarily wanting to fight it, but it's not also a common ban. So I'm interested to see why that ban might have been placed. It might be because they're just worried about it based on their team comp, or it could be a target ban.
Inferior construct will be permitted. Flaws have been overlooked.
Oh my god, Minecraft Custom 27, $1.01. Bring on the hair, and my OCD must get rid of the 99 cents. Yeah, that was bothering me too. Thank you so much, dude. I will put the hair on and just... I guess we'll do it after the game, because this is not going to be showing my face while we're in game. Regardless, back at picks and bans. Wow, words are hard. They then picked up what appears to be a Jungle Jarvan, which I think is an amazingly strong pick right now. They have a Thresh Jinx bot lane, which is an awesome pairing. Like, that's such a good pairing. Kayle top, which is a little less common than we might normally expect to see, but it's not weak by any means. And then they have a Twisted Fate mid. Overall, their team comp is phenomenal. They have the lockdown to keep targets in range for Kayle to just shred in AoE, or for Twisted Fate to constantly be throwing extra damage across, throwing in red cards or stun cards, whichever he wants to do, depending on whether he wants AoE or lockdown. And that entire time, Jinx is going to be rocketing across. Then they have the backup CC of the Thresh box, the Flay, the Hook, and the slows from Kayle, the stuns from TF. Their team comp is solid. I really, really like it. It's perfect. Purple team has banned out Yasuo, Leona, and Lucian. All fine bans. I don't think Leona's that strong, though. If you want to ban something, ban Braum. Braum is essentially Leona 2.0. That being said, Leona snowballs harder earlier. So I understand why, especially in low elo, people don't want to face her. But I think it's a bad habit. It's a similar idea to banning Blitzcrank rather than just dodging the hooks, as people would say. Blitzcrank is a strong support if played perfectly, but in low elo, that's not going to happen. So then Purple Team has picked up a Kha'Zix. They might be swapping. I'm going to just say Kha'Zix jungle support Skarner. I don't even know what's going on here. Support Skarner, 80 carry Draven, top lane Urgot, and Nidalee mid. Based on what they're talking about, I'm pretty sure that's a team comp. It weirds me out. Urgot top actually does a lot of damage. I'm not 100% sold on the Ghost, though. I'm under the impression, and correct me if I'm wrong because I don't play much Urgot or have not seen him played often, but Urgot...
Your inferior construct will be permitted. Flaws have been overlooked.
Oh my god, Doden Sprung, $5. You saw the Master Sword just now. Unsheath it, please. Huge Zelda fan over here. I'll do that as soon as I get over the picks and bans here. Sorry about that. So yeah, Skarner support, it's a kill lane. I've talked about kill lanes to a very, very large extent on my stream, and people get very upset when I keep saying that's not a support, that's a kill lane. I did an entire YouTube video on it, so if you're concerned of what makes a support, check that video out. I think I wrapped it up fairly succinctly in that video, just saying like why supports are supports and why kill lanes are kill lanes and how they differ. In this case, kill lane with Draven Kha'Zix, not the worst decision, but if you wanted to do that, you could have gone like a Nautilus or something weird like that if you really wanted that kill lane. Overall, I'm just not sold on the Skarner pick. We'll wait and see how it rolls out, though. Urgot top, I was mentioning, I would expect it to be running Ignite or Teleport. The Ghost, I don't see that saving you. Like, if you get caught out by J4, Ghost, obviously, well, you're going to have to flash in order to get out of that. Same thing versus Thresh hooks or TF ganks. The Ghost isn't going to be that useful. I would have expected Ignite or Teleport. That's my opinion. You're welcome to your own. I don't see much Urgot played, so I'm probably a little bit misinformed on that one. Nidalee mid got significantly buffed last patch with her AP ratios. Well, sort of buffed. It's a side change. In comparison, she is stronger than she used to be. It's not a sheer numbers buff, but it's encouraging people to play her again. I played versus her earlier, and it was annoying as hell. TF has always done well versus Nidalee mid, though, in my opinion, because, well, Nidalee tries to farm, you stun card, throw things in, and then you gank. Like, you run with your ult. So I'm not 100% sold on it as like a counter pick, but it is definitely a solid mid laner right now. As promised, Master Sword for you. It is the proper Master Sword. It's Brian's costume. He also has the shield, but one of his friends broke it by mistake. So yeah, there you go. It's pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to change this over and we're going to get into the game itself. While we're waiting for this to load, if you guys have any questions for me, hit me up in chat and we'll try and give you a hand. Brian's trying to find the shield for you. I'll show you that if we have time. Right. Oh, apparently he has it now. Yeah, see the bottom is a little bit... no, it's right. It's the top that's broken.
You cracked all along here.
Nid's roaming is good too, yes it is. But let's face it, TF exists to teleport gank, right? That's why you pick TF. And it just does it better than Nidalee. What elo is this again? These people are between Bronze 5 and Gold 5. Okay, so we're gonna get all the picks lined up, because you guys like to complain about that if I forget. With good reason, I can understand why. Okay, so those are all lined up. We're just gonna wait and see how things go in terms of starting items. And we'll get this going. That is a slow start. I'm not seeing anyone buying at all. There we go. Annie is definitely strong. Ghost is fine on Urgot. I agree, Ghost is alright on Urgot. I was just saying that I would more expect Urgot to be focusing on a dominate lane sort of a setup, because he is such a good ranged bruiser. Well, that's generally why you pick it up. Anyways, I wouldn't know. I don't see him played hardly ever, so... Jinx has plat border, probably from a team last season or something. Wait, it's Red Sox. Yeah, that's weird. He was plat, wasn't he? Weird. I hope he didn't tank his elo or something, because I'm pretty sure he's not plat right now. Alright, so pretty standard setup here. They do sneak the ward in onto red buff, but don't actually go for the invade. It's unfortunate just given their team comp, but I would usually want to see Tribush rushed. They have a lot of wards down in here, but their level 1 invade just isn't that strong. Skarner, if he can get in range, yeah, he can definitely set things up, but it's not a consistent easy game. Just as a reminder, we're mostly just going to be focusing on this game while we're in it. If you have questions that specifically I need to answer, I'll try and answer them at the end of the game. But right now we're mostly just going to be focusing on this single match. Alright, so in terms of starting builds, which I actually didn't mention earlier, Thresh started with a ward. I generally don't like seeing that. I want to see 4-pot start. And the reason is that whoever bullies out bot lane or hits level 2 first, or lands their first successful engage, generally wins. Potions are your safety net. You kind of need to have those extra potions if you want to stay in lane. It's not necessarily needed versus Skarner support because, well, let's face it, Skarner support's not that good overall. But at the same time, if let's say he did happen to get caught out, well, he then doesn't have a way to stay in lane. He's kind of forced to play defensive when his goal at this point of the game should be poking and hard engaging. I also don't like seeing his positioning here. I want to see him up in the enemy bush, constantly auto-attacking and trying for an engage. They did hit level 2 first. Went hook. Alright, hook was a little late. You want to hook the second you hit level 2. You want to level it up right as you hit level 2 and immediately throw it into lane. that's why I wanted to see him pushing in harder. As soon as he was about to hit level 2, like as Jinx is attacking the minion, I would auto-attack either of the enemy champions to use the flay charge, then flay them back into yourself to slow them, and then throw the hook at the same time. That pretty much guarantees that you've either wasted their flash or got a huge amount of damage onto them. That's just my own experience with Thresh, but to each their own. Nidalee, I want to point out, did start traps. That gives her phenomenal early game map control, but makes sure that her level 1 is very weak. Just based on how CS is here and how health was earlier, it's relatively clear. Ooh, nice jump. Alright, that was a little bit sloppy from Nidalee, but a good engage. I want to rewind and play that back in slow-mo. Okay, so there's a couple issues here. Number one, you don't want to get hit by a spear. You needed to step to the side. As soon as you get speared, you know that she's going to jump in, and she can jump from around here to you. You're also running straight towards the trap, so you've just cut yourself off and allowed her to jump directly on top of you and use takedown. You then, with no health versus a Nidalee, decide to walk back in. You don't have your stun card up, and it's not as though you're auto-attacking. You walked straight back in, so that indicates to me that you misclicked. So, you should be using attack move. You don't want to right-click to attack. You want to bind an extra mouse key or a keyboard key to use that. Now, Nidalee did misplay there slightly, and had to flash in to finish it off. But at the end of the day, that should not have happened. He should have just backed out, maybe threw in an extra little bit of damage, but not tried to fight that. Also, interesting choice, him taking exhaust. I could see why he might want it versus Nidalee, because she's going to jump in close range. Up in top lane, slight CS advantage over to Urgot, but he is lower in health. Has some potions though, so it doesn't really matter. All TF needed to do in that fight was to not walk in until he'd picked a card. If Nidalee stayed in range, he could have then fought that. Oh. Alright, so we see just the sheer damage output that can come from a Skarner engage, but because I went down a little too late, I want to see exactly what set that up. Okay, so Thresh got greedy is what happened. He walks directly into their team, rather than trying to set up plays in a way that he can, abusing his range. So walking directly next to a champion is going to make sure that you take return damage, whereas you could just kite around the maximum auto attack range and set that up. Second complaint is that Jinx then stays in range after Thresh has essentially wasted all of his setup. Nice lantern to pull him out of the way. Not that it does very much, but still nice thought. I would like to see Thresh stepping back a step or two while that lantern was in place. Alright, so they get the flash. Exhaust is a little late there. We see the heal go through. Draven not able to finish the kill. Nice hook over onto Draven. They get the heal at the end, but is it going to be enough? Thresh going in with the auto attacks, chaining in as much as he can. Decent positioning there in orb walking, so good job there, and he does pick up the kill with the flame-powered auto attacks. Back mid, Nidalee going in, but Jarvan shows up, not quite able to land the knock-up. Stun goes down from TF, stepping backwards, flashes away from the leap. Very nice timing on that. Jarvan has the red buff ticking. Gets a lot of damage on. He does have flash. Flashes forward, auto attack, not needed as TF is able to pick up the kill. Really good positioning on TF there, just making sure that he was able to dodge out of that. But Nidalee, I think, could have escaped. As soon as she saw J4 showing up, instead of saying, I'm greedy, I really want this kill, I think she should have been able to turn around, leap backwards, and then be able to reposition around the rest of the engage.
Forward.
Kha'Zix's trying for a gank top, not really having anything happen because of it. Wait, was that another kill? I'm not rewinding for that because that just boils down to Nidalee landed engage and burst. Alright, so Nidalee roaming down bot, not quite able to pull anything off with it. TF not quite 6, but he's going to hit it this wave. As soon as he hits 6, he has his Sheen up. I'm waiting to see how his ganks play out because that's TF's main strength. Even if the rest of his laning phase doesn't go necessarily ideal. Okay, you need to watch out for these spears, dude. You're having so many issues. Yeah, you're just walking into spears over and over. You need to work on your sidestepping. You don't run back and forth, you run side to side. That makes it very, very easy to dodge things, and it's an incredibly important skill that I would like to see you working on. Because that's just it. Your overall gameplay is good, But if you get hit by a spear from Nidalee, you're dead, and that's like the third one you've just walked into. Boom, Nidalee kills again. Good engages from Nidalee though, so I do have to give her some compliments for them. J4 trying to go in mid, not able to finish off the kill. Does not get hit by the spear, walks around the trap. Good positioning and just awareness. Oh god. Oh, this poor this poor TF. He's so hungry for these kills. And just, I want to see him take a step back and work on his farming. It doesn't matter if you are down kills. As long as you're staying even with your opponent, you haven't technically lost the lane. Yes, your opponent might be strong, but as long as you're not significantly weaker when it comes to fighting, then you're still fine. So yeah, I definitely want to see that worked on. I would say that's a common attitude in low elo though, just saying kills are all that matters is my KDA. I see, and this is not to be rude to anyone in my stream, but I see a lot of people jump into the stream and I'll be in a laning phase where I might be 0-2 or 0-3 or something like that, and they'll just be like, what the fuck, I thought you were good at Victor, why are you feeding? And it's just stuff like that, and it's like, you realize I'm still winning, right? Your actual score is not as important as the effect that you're having on the outcome of the game. And that's what I would like to see a lot of these players, and this is not just to pick on TF, I like to see a lot of players in low elo adjust to that playstyle. Oh, Jinx cancels her auto attack, not able to finish it off there. She starts it, steps back, instead of just switching to minigun, attacking, stepping forward, attacking, and would have had the kill. So a little bit of misplay there, but it's minor mechanics. J4 going in, gets the engage onto Skarner. Skarner exhausts and ults him into the tower. Gets a lot of damage on. Jinx actually flashes... Oh, what are you doing? I do not like this. Alright, nice heal. Nice heal. Gonna be taken down by minions. Jinx, you knew that you were gonna get the assist, and that's gonna proc your passive, so you should run straight at Skarner as soon as you saw that was gonna happen. Also with the flash there, you flashed, auto-attacked, and then stopped attacking. If you want to do that, and you have enough health, which you did, stick to minigun, so you get the bonus attack speed every time you attack. Flash forward, auto-attack, step forward, auto-attack, step forward, auto-attack. By the third auto-attack, you'd be positioned right around here where I'm clicking, and that would have set things up. I'm not going to rewind for that kill mid because we've seen pretty much how that lane's going. If you get hit by a spear versus an Nidalee, you are dead. That's just sort of how things go. It's unfortunate, but there's not too much more advice to say there, besides work on farming, work on passive play, work on roaming, and work on dodging skill shots. So hopefully that will help him out in the future. Alright, back in bot lane. I'm actually a little bit surprised that they're staying so even with the Skarner support. They're down one kill, which has gone over to Thresh, so not the end of the world. Oh, wait, never mind. Let's wait till this gank goes through. J4 does not have his ult, but it doesn't matter. The Jinx ult comes across, Rocket comes across, but TF is going to show up here. The rest of the team, this is a little out of position. I don't think you're going to be able to finish off that kill on Draven. You do not get hit by the spear this time, so that's good. But you are just a little too far out. Oh, the 10 health, I think it was. Not going to be able to finish that one off. Jinx trying to get the resets on this. Alright, I've warned against this a couple times in my streams. If you're standing in auto attack range, why are you stopping to cast skills? Nice job. Nidalee is able to jump out, but the final turret shot does take her down. But yeah, that was just one of those things where, again, TF did try and ult in, but he ulted in very, very deep while he knew that the enemy team was coming bot. You have a ward here, you have a pink ward here, you have a ward here. So you knew Nidalee was coming in, and you have a ward here, sorry. So you knew Kha'Zix and Nidalee were coming in. So trying to jump in this deep while you're in what amounted to a 3v4 at the end of the day, probably not the best course of action. So again, you'll want to work on that a little bit. Yeah, Jinx, there was no reason to use a skill shot when you're standing in auto attack range, because you're giving up all mobility, you're giving up all guaranteed damage, and, well, let's face it, Zap does decent damage, but it's not that crazy. Like, you're going to be better off just getting off 2 or 3 auto attacks in that time using the minigun. Yeah, I'm not sure why they picked the Skarner support. It's very odd to me. I would like to hear their reasoning for it, but I'm going to try and avoid judging it, because, hey, weird picks can work. Alright, back in top lane, which it's been very uneventful, so I haven't had too much to say. Every time I take a peek, though, Urgot is out farming, but Kale is out bullying. So Kale will want to work on her last hitting because she is missing a lot. But on the split side, I want to see him taking this strength. He's quite far ahead in CS. He's like 25 CS up right now, but he's not fighting her. I'm expecting him to go tier next, so he's going to have a little bit more mana to work with. I would have expected to see the tier earlier, though. If you're going to go for that build, you want it as early as possible so it's stacking up and giving you more mana to play with while in lane. The Brutalizer is amazing. It's a very strong item, but it's not necessary if you have the tier first, because you're going to have, well, you're going to be able to keep casting skills. Nidalee jumping in, oh my god, the damage. This Nidalee is doing really good work. I think, if I remember correctly, we've seen this Nidalee before, and she is just a monster. Yeah, we might need to graduate her Nidalee. I have Flash coming through here. I believe he tried to whisper me the response for it. We'll take a look at the reasoning at the end of the game, though. So Nidalee just poking around this. Urgot not going to be able to push this lane in, though, so I think Nidalee's kind of wasting her time. If I was Nidalee, I would just go, like, do something else. You're wasting a lot of time. You're taking a lot of turret shots. Even if you jump in on this, she has ult. So you've just killed yourself. Oh, the last tick of Ignite, though. Oh my lord. Oh, this poor TF. I just want to hug him and then slap him a little bit. Because these have been very easy skill shots. He stunned the target and then misled his oh god, I don't remember it's not pick a card. Either way, he missed through his cards. He missed the skill shot. I don't agree with that. It was awkward. It was awkward to watch.
Why, thank you.
Alright, so I have this complaint many times during workshops, and I want to point it out yet again. The turret is about to fall. You cannot protect the turret. You're going to kill the turret and then kill you. So why stay, right? At the very best, most lucky course of action, you might take one of them with you, but you're still going to die, you're still going to give up the map control. Nice ult, nice Jinx ult. But, sorry, at the end of the day, though, Thresh wasn't going to be able to do anything in that engage, so I want to see him cutting his losses, playing smart, and just backing out. Unfortunately, that did not happen here. Alright, second complaint for TF here. Oh, why flash forward? You don't really have the damage to kill him. Yeah, I just don't think he needed to flash for that. There's the gold card, nice job. TF's probably gonna die because Skarner has a lot of sustained damage if he's able to stay in range. There's the gold card, not quite keeping him in tower range, but TF does live. Same issue with Thresh, no reason to be there. Draven flashes in, picks up the stacks for himself. Very nice job. Alright, Jinx now rotating mid. This is the correct way to go, yes. You don't walk through river if they're already on the tower, because you're cutting yourself off from tower and providing them with a free kill. So it's just smart positioning and smart rotations that boils down to. Looks like purple team's going over for Dragon. I highly praise that decision. There's no one to stop you doing it, and you're turning one advantage, in this case a kill or two mid lane, into a mid tower, into a dragon, into whatever pressure they want to create after that. That's just how you turn small leads into large ones, and they already have a large lead, so this is just going to be dominant for them. That being said, Jarvan with the Flag Smite Steal. I'm not quite sure if... Did he not have Smite? No, he did have Smite. And they're equal levels, so I'm not going to be upset over it, but you definitely do want to work on smiting as soon as you can. Alright, looks like Urgot's trying to collapse on mid. Sorry, the other complaint I was going to give to TF is he's rushing a Lich Bane. He has no AP to make the Lich Bane actually do damage. It's not going to do much more damage than the original Sheen would have. Very nice engage onto the Urgot, though. Nice kill for them. Kale now coming through. The spear does pick up Jinx, though. Kale able... Oh, actually, sorry, it goes over to Jarvan. Draven, not quite able to pick up the kill onto Thresh. The stun's going across constantly over onto this poor Skarner. Followed, of course, by the Kayle slows. So, very good cleanup from blue team. They got a lot from that fight. They got 3 for 1. So that's a very nice sign that they still have the ability to make picks and make fights that are going to work for you. Someone in chat's mentioning that they flagged before he could smite. I understand that, but that's why you... one of two options. You pull Dragon out into River, which you should always do so that they can't steal it as easily. And the second thing is, you know Jarvan's going to come in because he's warded it. So don't stand where his flag can reach to. Stand on the other side of it. I'm just saying that positioning is important, and that's one of the things that you could have done to mitigate the risk of that Dragon. It didn't matter, but just wanted to point that out. Alright, so Nidalee actually going up top, going in behind... let's see how this goes. Speed buff goes across, nice auto attack combo there. Getting as much damage as you can. Oh, this Nidalee is just godlike. I think we'll probably have to graduate her from the workshops because her mechanics on this champion are pretty much flawless, and her decision making when it comes to roaming is pretty much spot on. So I'm just not sure what I need to say about this. Alright, so yeah, good decision to back out there. I was just gonna say you don't want to be in that close. Alright, so Urgot's in beside. I'm assuming he wants to try and ult him into the jungle? Yeah, that was a little odd. There it is. Alright, Jinx is actually coming up. Is she gonna be able to do anything? TF and Jinx and Thresh are able to get onto Urgot and pick up a free kill for themselves. So at the end of the day, that's 1 for 1, and while it sucks that Nidalee is getting a little bit more fed, I would actually call that sort of worth it, because they got more assists, and blue team is behind. So if you can go 1 for 1 well behind, you've just gained a significant advantage. Unfortunately though, TF stayed and was then caught out. So that just completely invalidates what I was going to say, and then of course Kayle goes down right after that. So yeah, while it was a nice pick that they made for themselves, they immediately then had to back out. There was no way that they were going to be able to continue fighting after that, so just poor decision there. Oh god, we're seeing the Soul Stealer coming out from Nidalee. In terms of Draven, he's still a little bit down in CS, but because of his passive, in gold, he's only down about 700. So that's not bad, considering that Jinx has a lot of assists and about 20-25 CS advantage. So his passive is keeping him relatively relevant, and he has... It's so hard to tell in Spectator if that means it's 480 stacks. I'm assuming it is. So if he ever cashes those in, that gold lead is going to shrink to much less. Oh, grammar's hard. Yeah, Nidalee is just an absolute monster right now. Let's rewind this. I want to see what to set this up. Alright, so TF. Just sort of staying in here to the side. Looks like he's baiting in for Thresh, but not really going to get anything from it. Flash goes in, cancels the ult coming out from Urgot, and 4 onto 1. Boom! That is a kill over to TF. Very nice. At this point, though, they need to keep in mind, they've just wasted pretty much all their engages, right? Like, no ult, no exhaust, no flash on Thresh, and let's be honest here, he's setting up a lot of the plays. A lot of damage onto Nidalee. Nidalee... Where's the ult? There it is. Good job. That is a shutdown over to TF. That is amazing for him. Not only are they keeping that from getting a stacked Soul Stealer, but they're giving the gold back over to TF so that he's going to be relevant in the late game. Once he gets his Hourglass, this is going to be much less one-sided, and the gold lead is relatively small still. It's about 3k. They're coming back into this. So that's really awesome to see, and a large portion of that just boils down to blue team is grouping, and they have the team comp to make these fights work for them. That's just awesome to see. Kha'Zix's a little... I don't know if I agree with that. Like, it goes in his favor in the end, but... let's say Jinx got a trap on, or Kale got a slow on, or TF got a stun on, or J4 got a knockup. Any of their CC would have allowed them to quickly re-engage 4v1 Kha'Zix under the tower, assuming the right target was tanking the tower, and been able to pop him, because he's very, very squishy. At the end of the day, that didn't happen though, so it works out. Oh, I thought you called it Donkey Kong. I was looking at chat and I was like, who's talking about Donkey Kong? Like D-U-N. It's like, what are you talking about? And then I realized, no, I just can't read. You guys will be impressed, I'm still wearing the mask for you. Oh, wait, you have to put the wig on me for after this ends. I forgot there was a donation. Okay, so J4 trying to check this out, not really able to turn it into anything. Draven trying to come around, not able to get anything though. Failed jump from Kha'Zix, and then they just start going their own way. Oh, you are correct. Yeah, no boots on Kha'Zix. That's a little questionable. I'm interested to see if Nidalee goes Void Staff next. Wait, yeah, with that. If she goes Void Staff next, or if she's then going to go into a Lich Bane. I would like to see a Lich Bane, Hourglass, Void Staff as like her final 3 items. But it's really hard to say because, let's face it, I don't really play that champion that much. Yeah, that's not going to do anything for you, dude. Alright, so here we see the engage trying to come out, but you have to remember that Thresh isn't necessarily damage. Like, I see what you're trying to do here. Is this really going to work out for you? I don't think so. And there it is, the pickup goes over. The Kale ult comes across onto Thresh, not going to have anything happen because of it. And Draven gets a nice chunk of gold. Alright, so we see some things going down onto Baron. That's actually a pretty good decision for Purple Team. The only issue is that Kha'Zix is not there. With Jarvan being dead though, they have some time. Alright, so they just saw Kale go back. That means they have even more time, but they're not pinking it or sweeping it. So, you have a support that has no Sightstone. I forgot to mention that earlier. Not good. You also need the sweeper. It's just a lot of subpar decision making here. See the TF ult trying to come in from the side. Where is it going? Where is it going? Looks like he can't decide if he wants to go in or not. There it is. Hey, goes onto Draven. Hook goes through. Flay goes through. Exhaust goes through. TF picks up the kill for himself. Very nice job. Heal goes across. And then, of course, he's dead right after. Good dodge of the spear. Jinx just zoning them out between traps and zap. The ult coming across from TF. Oh, nice Hourglass. Ult goes across onto TF, but he is able to Hourglass in time. Kale. Oof. Yeah, Kale's way bot is what I was gonna say, but Nidalee just an absolute wrecking ball right now. And picks up the kill for herself. Very, very nice job. She's at 10 stacks on her Soul Stealer right now. Yeah, I'm a little confused as to why Kale was way down here. If Kale had showed up to this fight, it may have gone a different way. Because that went relatively equal with how they were positioning early, but then they got baited out, and Nidalee can just clean up at that point. It's unfortunate. But I do have to compliment her mechanics, so that was very nicely played. Alright, so, looks like they're just gonna try and pick up blue buff for themselves. Hey, go Saurus, welcome back. Alright, so Baron's still on the map. So the main issues there were threefold. Number one, your support does not have any wards or sweepers, so you can't successfully clear out Baron. Number two, your jungler was not there, so that's the second issue. Third issue being, you didn't clear a pink ward, like you saw this. So leaving that up means that they're free to engage on you anytime. So that's the only reason that fight was so close. I'm not even rewinding for Nidalee's kills at this point because it's literally just she spears, she kills. Boom, it's done. Alright, there's the ult across them. J4 ulting to try and keep them in. Skarner taken very low, but Kale. Oh my lord. The cleanup. The cleanup that they have. Just a split focus there. They got a lot of damage onto the Skarner and then decided to not finish him because they were so concerned with Nidalee. You have to be decisive. Either you're going for the kill or you're not. At this point, they have 4 enemies dead. This is a 100% free Baron, so I like that they are going over for that immediately. But we'll see what happens here. I would consider this relatively over. TF ulting, I don't see much point. Like, unless you're planning to chase them after the fight, in which case you ulted too early. What is his ult serving a purpose for? Unless Jinx was ulting, even then, don't think it's worth it. Someone in chat's talking about how Bloodthirster Rush is still the best course of action, or one of them. That's simply incorrect. Either you're picking an AD carry because they synergize well with auto attacks, such as Tristana, Kog'Maw, that sort of thing, in which case you generally you want an early Infinity Edge. Sorry, Jinx being another prime example. So either you're going Infinity Edge, or you're going a Static Shiv. Sorry, not Static Shiv. That's really only Tristana who sometimes does that. I apologize, and Tristana gets away with that because she has no AD ratio, so she should naturally care about the AD. So either you're going for an Infinity Edge, or you're going for a Ghost Blade, Blade of the Ruin King. One of those two build paths is usually the course of action that most people take. Trinity Force Rushes are also relatively rare at the moment, because they synergize well with AD casters, who are oftentimes considered weak right now. Things like Corki, Ezreal, things like that where you really want a Trinity Force. They're still fine. They're not unviable by any means. Oh, let's see if they get onto this J4. I doubt they will. But yeah, they're just outclassed at the moment, and so that's why you generally don't see Trinity Force Rushes being considered good. Even on things like Lucian, who statistically would like a Trinity Force, we're more commonly seeing a Ghost Blade Rush. In terms of this fight, not a whole lot going on. They are very split across this, though. Draven misclicking a little bit, not quite getting his auto attack resets, not quite kiting as he would want. That's unfortunate. So Kale here just ulting up. Jinx is now in range. Okay, so she is focusing the right target at least. With them grouped right on top of each other, though, I would have been more inclined to expect you to use rockets while that stage was going on. Instead, you switched to rockets while there was only one target left. So that's reducing your damage output quite significantly. Okay, so here you go. You're just going to get that extra kill. Not sure why Draven stayed as close as he did. So you have 2 options here. Yeah, there you go. That's going to hit. Good job. Nidalee is now caught out inside the tower. Stun goes across. Hook not quite able to connect. Jinx ult does connect, but not able to finish off the kill. They do take down... Oh my god, they still take down Thresh. Jinx is here. Tries to throw the traps. Not able to do anything, though. So Nidalee is going to escape this time. Very few AD carries rush Bloodthirster. If you're building Bloodthirster, it's as a 3rd or 4th item. No, Bloodthirster's not a bad item. It's simply you don't rush it. You build it as a mid-late game item. You build it after your Infinity Edge, after your Phantom Dancer, after your Ghost Blade if you're building one, after your Trinity... Well, sometimes before Trinity Force. If you're building a Trinity Force, though, it's usually early game. I have seen some late game Lucians, like, do Trinity Force final item or, like, 4th item or something. Hey, Cocaine Hammer, welcome back. So not a whole lot going on right now. At this point, Blue Team has proven that they can win fights, even though they are down 10k gold. But I don't see them doing it at this point. Like, they're just not having the same level of outplay or the same level of communication that they didn't necessarily demonstrate in the last few minutes, and I just jumbled my words horribly. What I'm meaning to say is that they were catching people out, they were communicating well, and they were catching single target kills, and that was what was keeping them in the game and pulling them slowly back towards being even. That's not happening anymore. They're instead just getting caught out. They're not necessarily grouping, and it's just not going well. AP Nidalee still works. Yes, it does. It got buffed recently. Last patch, they nerfed AD Nidalee quite heavily in terms of damage, and slightly buffed AP Nidalee. So basically, it's a much stronger option than it was before, comparatively speaking. Alright, so the thing to remember is that TF can stall the lanes for a very long time, because, well, he has the wave clear. So what I want to see is TF trying to stall the game. Well, oh, why are you pulling into that? Okay, so you just pulled yourself into the enemy team, but even if it was just one target, who's there to damage? Kale was way up here. This bothers me. So Jinx, I want to see you using rockets max range here. Just throwing in a couple rockets while stepping backwards and kiting. Yeah, no rockets coming out. So in this duration, you should have been able to get about 4 AoE rockets across your team from relatively, yeah, I would say complete safety, actually. Just standing sort of here, rocketing to here. Instead, Kha'Zix's trying to go in for the dive, and they both just flash away from each other. Interesting decision. Nidalee coming around from the side, so this leaves it a 5v3. Ward taken down, Nidalee just instantly able to pop the Jinx. This is a good opportunity for Purple Team to pretty much just end. So I want to see them pushing in this tower, pushing in the inhibitor while Nidalee split pushes. Alright, so same complaint that I had before. You're cutting yourself off from tower. You need to either go around or jump over the wall immediately. Yeah, I'm not even rewinding for Nidalee's kills at this point. Alright, so they do manage to take down Draven there. And that's just a tower aggro issue and Purple Team not necessarily swapping properly. But, nah, we'll see how this goes. He has his flash, no ult. So I would not expect this to turn into anything. Hook not able to connect, definitely not turning into anything now. Thresh, you need to be keeping in mind where your damage on your team is. Jarvan is not able to join a fight. He does not have ult, which you can see on your sidebar. And he is very low health. So he's not going to be jumping in on a fight unless the target is, like, less health than Skarner has right now. The rest of your damage, though, is in base, so there's no one to follow up your engage. So, while you might say, oh, but I can land a really good hook, I can box in all these people. Yeah, but who are you boxing them in for? And I've seen him do that a couple times this game, so that's some decision-making that he'll definitely want to work on, because it is incredibly important, especially on supports like Thresh, or Braum, or Nami, anyone who has really fantastic lockdown, but not necessarily a lot of damage. It would be different if, let's say, you were Karma support and you had a lot of damage, or Vel'Koz support and you had a lot of damage, or Zyra support and you had a lot of damage. Hell, even Sona. Sona sometimes gets to be pretty scary if she has enough AP. We just built Static Shiv. So that Static Shiv was picked up by Jinx. As a late game purchase, Static Shiv is not really ideal, and you have rockets to provide you with the AoE wave clear. So Phantom Dancer would have been a much better option, and is almost the same gold. Yeah, so she could have wave cleared this and then had Phantom Dancer. Would have been a better option. Alright, so the Jinx ult does go across, not doing that much damage. Takes Nidalee super low. So Kale, instantly able to pick up the kill. Jinx, I want to use rockets here. They're all grouped. This is why you pick Jinx with a J4 or anyone with AoE lockdown like that, because they're locked inside your AoE crits. Your rockets can crit. So that's a mistake I've seen her make a couple times this game. Kale, not doing much damage, but whatever, they're tanky targets. I get it. Jinx goes a little too deep, gets ulted out by Urgot. I'm interested to see if anything comes from this, though. Oh, Jinx. Okay, so you got placed right next to Kha'Zix. I wanted to see you go onto that instead. Why are you fighting Draven? He has more health than you. Alright, now you just hit a minion. Alright, so a lot of misclicks here, a lot of poor decision-making. You could have immediately popped Kha'Zix the second you were ulted into them, and then swapped onto Urgot or Draven after the fact. Alright, so the hook goes onto Draven. Kale does not join the fight, but Draven is able to pick up the kill on his own. Kale ult a little late, not sure what that was intended to accomplish. Flash goes through, breaks vision, does not accomplish anything. You need to be slowing him right here. There you go. Slow, walk forward, auto attack, step forward. You step forward a little late, it might just be I was watching a little slow though. Alright, either way, good job. They do ace. A lot of that just boiled down to a fantastic re-engage from J4, as well as a lot of damage coming out from Jinx. But that could have been played much better by blue team. And let's face it, it was set up by purple team just being a little bit cocky. Blazing Archers, Smurf are not welcome in these workshops. These are for people who are stuck in ranked. Again, misclicks. Why you turned around to try and stun one target when there's 3 targets there is a little bit beyond me. It's possible he probably had vision of Urgot and knew that he couldn't run this way. But if he did run this way, they could have 3-man collapsed onto Urgot, tried to pop him, and continue running out back towards base. But in that circumstance, I just don't understand that stun. Alright, so Jinx tries to duel. Don't do that. Like, if you're gonna duel a Draven, you have to stay out of his range. So, I want to see rockets used, constantly staying out of Draven's auto attack range, get him close, and then you can chase in if you would like. It sounds like the game is over, and I definitely see that happening here. TF does pick up a kill for himself. Urgot and Nidalee just pushing this in, Alright, Nidalee gets a free kill over for herself again. And should be another one right here. Oh my god, this Nidalee. Alright, wig me up, Brian.
Is it wake you up? It's like slap you, ice bucket challenge.
Exactly. Yeah, no, we're definitely doing some more workshop games. So if you would like to join, make sure that you're in the proper chat rooms. P4N mid, P4N top, P4N ADC, P4N support, and P4N jungle. Hopefully, we'll be able to get you all into the next match.
I think using the blue one might be a bit. Yeah.
No, use the other one. I haven't seen it.
That's
You did. It was hot.
facey.
Well, the webcam's not on anyways.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is taking a little while. I am 3 minutes behind, so apparently the game has ended, but we're still waiting on this. No. There we go.
Hold it, partner.
Yep. Do I look beautiful?
That actually works really well. I'm going to evolve. My name is Esmeralda Laquiche.
Alright, sorry we've not really been able to talk too much about this here. So I need to update this, don't I?
Did you see we got?
Yep. That puts us at 35.99. Oh, this is taking a very long time. You guys are sure they've ended? Because yeah, there's not a whole lot to talk about right now. So if you guys have specific questions, feel free to ask me and I'll try and answer them while we go through this. I'm then going to do a rundown of item builds and stuff after the game, but we'll wait for that. Skarner a little bit caught out, Nidalee nowhere near. The rest of them should be able to just backdoor mid. Nope. Skarner does not live long enough. So unless they're able to just kill this in 2 hits, which they might be able to. Go Kha'Zix! Yeah, Urgot's still there tanking it up. And that is game! Congratulations, purple team. Okay, you guys get to view the beautiful cosplay. We actually upgraded the cosplay because you guys have been so supportive today. There we go. Oh, I have to raise the webcam though. My hair's too tall. Okay, so... Oh, that is the wrong display mode. Doink. Okay, so... overall builds. Jinx went for Frozen Mallet because I guess she was having some issues kiting and positioning, but that could have been avoided just by working on your gameplay just a little bit more. Just in terms of orb walking, positioning, that sort of thing. It's not that it's such a bad item, but instead just going Phantom Dancer so you could move through minions. Finishing up Banshee's Veil or some other defensive item. I just think that might have been a better course of action. Thresh. I like the Zeke's Herald actually, because you have a lot of AD on your team, and even the champions that don't necessarily run AD, like Kayle or TF, they're still auto-attacking champions. So having extra lifesteal AD is not the worst thing, especially on Kayle. So I kind of like that. Sunfire Cape, it's fine. The only thing is you're worrying about Nidalee mostly. Build overall is good. I would have liked to see boots upgraded though, such as boots of mobility, because it is such a strong item for supports, especially Thresh. J4, his build's pretty much in order. Has the one damage item between Spirit Lizard Elder and then Brutalizer being his damage item. And then Randuin's Banshee's Veil. That's pretty much what you expect. Not 100% sure what the Giant's belt was going into. Was that a Sunfire Cape? That's what I would guess. I might have liked to see a Hydra if you're going for a damage build, because he can use it while jumping in, much like a Rengar would. Kayle did not really get any items this game. It's unfortunate she wasn't able to split push farm. She wasn't really able to get any kills. So all she really has is Nashor's and Hourglass. So they're good items, but it's not a full build, so it's hard to say too much. TF never did get... Yeah, okay, he did finish everything. The finished Codex, was that going into a Twin Shadows or a Morellonomicon, or... Not sure. I would have liked to see a Twin Shadows there. So it would have let you chase Kite, get some vision, shut some people down. I think that would be a good fit. Void Staff, Lichbane, yeah, those are all standard items. Draven, pretty much standard. I'm not 100% sold on the Trinity Force Draven. I don't play Draven. Overall, I would say it's fine. My only concern is you have no lifesteal. So I would like to see a Bloodthirster there, and maybe before the Trinity Force. Ghostblade is actually pretty good on Draven. Ghostblade Infinity Edge. I actually used to play ranked with a guy who he was completely sold on Sword of the Divine Draven. And the idea was that you would go right Infinity Edge, Sword of the Divine, Bloodthirster. You didn't need to worry about crit, you didn't need to worry about attack speed, you didn't need to worry about any of that. Because if anyone jumped on you, boom, Sword of the Divine, triple auto crit with your axes, boom, you just one-shot a tank. Or three-shot a tank in this case. I'm not suggesting it as like a go-to build, but I'm just explaining why I think that Ghostblade is good. It's a similar fit. Skarner, you did not build a Sightstone in lane. Once you got your Sightstone, you didn't swap out for Sweeping Lens. Also, you played Skarner support. Don't really like it. You did all right, but Skarner's laning phase just wasn't there. You weren't able to harass. You weren't able to lock down. You weren't able to initiate. You weren't able to really disengage. You were just kind of there. And if a fight happened, you contributed to it, but you weren't really able to set up or stop things. And that's a really bad thing for a support. Your gameplay was fine. I just don't like the pick, and it was pretty much what I expected. It didn't really accomplish much. Kha'Zix, his build is very, very damage-based. I would like to see a Last Whisper, because you are dealing with a lot of armor. Randuin's, you have Sunfire Cape. Like there's a decent amount of armor to break through. Hourglass, well, multiple Hourglasses. So Last Whisper would have been very beneficial to his damage output. Also, not sold on you having to finish up Maw that early. I would have said instead of finishing up Maw that early, just get the Hex Drinker and then Last Whisper, and then you can worry about upgrading as like a final item. Urgot. You farmed well in lane, but didn't really apply much pressure, and then didn't do a whole lot late game. So it's unfortunate. You did fine, but I would have liked to see a little bit more kill potential in lane, maybe a little bit more aggressive play. But maybe that's just my own bloodthirsty nature. You did fine, though. Nidalee, I think we're graduating you from workshops because holy shit, dude, great job, great mechanics, but I can't really comment too much. Like, you did well. Saying anything past that would be claiming to know the champion.